Hello and welcome back to Movie Health Community, the internet's #1 source of health warnings at the movies. As always, please keep in mind that nothing produced by Movie Health Community is medical advice, nor has any of it been reviewed by medical professionals. It is a new year. We have entered the January set of movies, which is typically used as a dumping ground for movies that studios don't have a lot of faith in. But the last couple of years have actually been kind of strong for January movies. Last night I went to an AMC Screen Unseen showing. The movie turned out to be The Book of Clarence, the new biblical epic starring LaKeith Stanfield as an atheist living in the time of Jesus Christ. And before we get to whether this movie was any good or not, we always like to ask, is this movie safe for photosensitive audiences? The answer is almost completely! The Book of Clarence has scenes that are lit exclusively by fire, where there is a bit of a dim flicker to the fire. This happens in several scenes. Anything taking place outdoors is perfectly safe to watch. For flashing lights, we're giving The Book of Clarence a 3 out of 10. In terms of camera motion, The Book of Clarence has a few POV shots, point of view shots, using the camera as if you are looking through the character's eyes, following some rolling at high speeds at the beginning of the film, and then there are a few other POV shots throughout the rest of the movie that may be just a little bit disorienting. And then in terms of mental health trigger warnings, there is a rather intense crucifixion scene in this movie. One that I am actually kind of shocked this movie got away with a PG-13 rating, but it is PG-13. And there's nothing in this movie that isn't talked about in the Bible. So if we were to give an R rating to this movie, we'd have to admit that the Bible has some R-rated stories, some R-rated violence in it, which it totally does. Now before we talk about whether this movie is any good or not, we want to thank the sponsors of this video, our patrons over on our Patreon page, whose names are scrolling across the screen like credits right now. We've had a couple of new people sign up. Thank you so much to all of these people. We really couldn't do this without you guys' help. So thank you so much to the Movie Health Community Patreon page. Now, is The Book of Clarence any good? I'm gonna say yes. This movie did a really great job depicting what it would be like for someone who is an atheist to be living in the time of Jesus Christ. The ways he would be looked down on, the ways that he would be using logic to point out inherent flaws in belief systems, and how the people around him would not be taking him seriously because of his beliefs or his lack thereof. This movie is gonna start a lot of discussions. It's gonna be one of those that isn't exactly about what people say it's about. People are gonna say, oh, it's about someone pretending to be the Messiah. It's a Life of Brian ripoff. And while it may be those things, the real center of this movie is that it is about people who find ways to abandon their natural sense of selfishness and actually find ways to embrace selfless acts and attitudes. And that's something this movie did really, really well, and probably would have done really well if Jesus Christ hadn't even been a character in this movie, which he is. We do see someone play Jesus. The big thing that I was surprised by is just how much they were able to get away with a PG-13 rating. This movie had, again, one of the most violent scenes I've seen in a PG-13 movie with the crucifixion scene. It had some of the most drug use that I've seen, and really creative ways to go about depicting that drug use. And let's just say that the one F word that a PG-13 movie is allotted, I was under the impression that the way John McClane uses it in Die Hard was not allowed in PG-13 movies. But apparently it is now, because it was used in this movie. Yeah, this movie can go a little bit long, just like other biblical epics. It had an arc for one character I'm not entirely sure was necessary. That's Benedict Cumberbatch's character. I appreciate some of the stuff he did, and some of the background stuff that his character was there for, but his arc probably could have been cut down a little bit. I am going to give The Book of Clarence an A-. Definitely check this out, whether you are religious in your Christian beliefs or whether you just want to have a good time at the movies and seeing this movie that is definitely a good commentary on Christianity in general without being disrespectful to it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when we post new videos, and as always, stay safe at the movies.